more things that you can do with properties. We can define a property by using the @property decorator on top of some kind of method, and that method will be named whatever you want the property to be named. Then we can return some value. Typically, this is linked to some type of internal attribute that starts with an underscore. Now, once we define this property, we can optionally define something like a setter. This will control the logic for changing this property if we want to make a modification. Next, we can also add something like a deleter, which I didn't show you previously. Now, this will be triggered if you use the del keyword. So if I were to do del and then my instance, so something like self.name or whatever the property name is on that instance, then this would be triggered, and we can control that logic and see, first of all, if we should be able to delete it and what happens if we do want to delete that property. And we can also have things like read-only properties. Now, this is simply a property that's defined with only the getter, not a setter. So if I just decorate something with a property, by default, this will be read-only because we haven't associated any kind of setter, so there'll be no way to actually change what this attribute is. Beyond that, we also can have something like a cached property. And this allows us to define a property that once computed will not recompute, it will just return whatever the cached result is. So the first time I call this, it will compute because it hasn't already been triggered, but once it's been called, it will just return whatever the previous result was, unless we clear the cache. And the way that we would clear the cache is simply deleting this property or deleting the attribute, which would then need to be redefined.